Okay, everyone, take a deep breath because we are back for part 2 and we are going to discuss Amber and her testimony so far. Before we get into it, welcome to Trapped by Love. If you're new here, hello. My name is Emma Carrington and this is a true crime channel where we discuss cases of domestic abuse and domestic homicide. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button because we would love to have you join us. Alrighty, so day 1, scene opens on Amber's backstory. Sorry. Can we just talk about the way she started out saying how great she was? She was a great student with a scholarship to a Christian school. Great. She did a whole lot of charity work throughout school. When she was asked why she did it, she said it was because she didn't want to be at home much, which is kind of self-serving, but I guess you can still give her props for doing that instead of, say, meth, right? But apparently she actually did all that charity work because it was part of her school's expectation. So it was basically in their curriculum. And she's up there taking credit for being a great humanitarian. This is apparently, allegedly, just telling you all what I've been reading, so don't go shoot or sue the messenger. She also states about Johnny that, quote, I knew who he was. I wasn't a fan of his work. I wasn't familiar with him, but I knew who he was. I knew he was one of the most famous people in the world, end quote. So that's what she testified to knowing about him before meeting with him regarding the rum diary. However, the internet doesn't forget. And here is an interview. A friend of Amber's during her adolescent days told National Enquirer in 2014, quote, Johnny was Amber's first love, even though she'd never met him. When she was a teenager, Amber had already decided to become an actress and she had pictures of Johnny all over her room, said the unnamed source, who added that it was no surprise when they fell in love. The friend also added, quote, Amber can usually get whatever she sets her mind to. So that brings us to her working with Johnny, and she makes him out to be a lecherous old man, lifting the back of her skirt, throwing her on the bed, and kissing her inappropriately, as in kissing her for real, not just moody kissing, etc. Now, I don't know about you ladies or even gents out there, but if I get that skeezy vibe from a guy, which was what she was making out, I'd at the very least be staying away from him and doing my best not to be alone with him. So it really doesn't jive that she then fell in love with this person who gave her the creepy older guy skis factor, particularly that she fell so in love with him to the point that she couldn't pull herself away from him when he allegedly hit her in the first 6 to 12 months of their relationship. This is why understanding healthy relationships needs to be taught in schools. You are not in love with a person after 6 months. You might really, really like them or what they're showing themselves to be, but you don't even know enough about them to be in love. Sorry. That's my rant. Now, until this point in her testimony, she was kind of believable, right? Annoying and quite obviously sympathy-seeking, but not totally off the wall. I'm not a body language expert, a behaviour analyst, or any of those things, but I know when things don't sit right with me. Her demeanour is not that of a victim recounting abuse, as she tells these stories. And that's exactly what it sounds like. She's telling a story. If you want a breakdown of behaviour analysis, I do recommend the Behavioural Arts channel. I listened to Spidey's most recent breakdown of Amber's testimony and I was just nodding all the way through. He explains why what she's doing is so off. He gives some insight into the reasons that we're not getting a feeling of truth from her testimony. And there's also the guys on the behaviour panel. They break it down as well. They go into things like the change in her tense, the fact that her illustrators are off, and that she has said, I remember 187 times so far in her testimony, which just comes off as storytelling. I've also noticed, and like I said, not a professional, but I've also noticed that she ends most of her abuse accounts with, "I don't know how that ended," which is just odd to me. I mean, I know if someone's just walloped me, that they then walked away or they then went, like, I'm going to know where they are and what happened next. All right, so now if we look at the bathroom incident where Johnny said that he's escaped from her during an argument, he's having a shower, he's in the bathroom, he says she's pushing into the bathroom as he's trying to keep her out. She yelps as though her toes get caught in the door, and he bends to check them out because he didn't want to hurt her, and she kicks the door into his head as he leans to check on her supposed injury. Then she comes in and punches him in the face. And yes, I'm telling this from Johnny's side because to me that's the rendition that makes the most sense. But I'll play his side and also a recording of her side, which is actually a deposition from 2016 regarding this incident.
But it was okay. That's the promise you gave me a little while ago. I'm telling you, if you lost memory last night of kicking me out the door with the fucker hitting me
again,
and your memory is gone from you kicking the bathroom door and hitting me in the skull as I was bent down.
I am
Wait,
sorry.
if you have those memory fucking divots.
I was upset. There was a lot going on, and I was on an Ambien. Like, why are you obsessing over the fact that I can't remember it the way you remembered it? I said I was sorry. I didn't deny it.
That. I'm not talking about that. What I want. No, it's not to get you mad. It's not to get. It's just to get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big fight where I lost the tip of my finger, at least 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to
avoid talking to me, to avoid
escape
working out. That's
to escape the fight.
You don't escape the fight. You escape the solution.
No.
You escape the solution.
No.
You escape figuring it out. We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. A boxer can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No. There are rounds, man. And when it gets too fucking hairy, the ref splits them apart or whatever. But all I'm saying is you can't have a solution if the argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting. I fucking go into the bathroom and sit on the floor. Bam, 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 here you come. I come out. Fight, crazy, escalated. I go split again, I go to another fucking bathroom or a bedroom or something. Knock, 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 bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me. I said to Travis, I said to you, hey, tell Travis what just happened.
You told me to do it. You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
And I lied.
And that you punched me in the fucking thing. And
you figured it out.
And you said, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? And I watched you lie. And then I
didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you started.
You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up,
you
Johnny.
Started physical fights.
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did, so I had to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
And I do remember that incident. I believe that's from the when I was in the bathroom, and I was in fact taking a shower, and this was in penthouse 3, and she came banging on the door, banging on the door, banging on the door. I didn't answer. I was in the shower. I couldn't deal with it. I didn't want to deal with any more of that sarcastic, demeaning, aggressive, violent, toxic spew. And so I was taking a shower and I didn't want to answer the door. She kept banging. And then I finally got out of the shower and I opened the bathroom door about just that much, just so I could have a good hold on the door in case she tried to burst in. And I was right, she did. Bathroom doors go in. She was pushing all her weight on the door, trying to get in. And I was pushing back because I didn't want to let her in, because I obviously didn't want the confrontation. She was not in best of moods, you can hear. So when I was pushing the bathroom door, trying to close it, and was almost closed, she suddenly kind of yelped in pain. And she screamed out, "Ow, my toes or my foot or something." And so in that second, I thought possibly her foot had gotten caught under the door, which would, of course, not feel great on the foot or the toes. So I thought she was maybe injured. So I knelt down to have a look. The door was still, it was still pretty well about that much open. And when I knelt down on my hands and knees to look at her foot to see the injury, she kicked the bathroom door into my head. She kicked the bathroom door into my head, and I was completely taken aback by such a corrosive, horrific move. So I stood up, and I believe I stood up, and but at this point the door was open. I stood up and I said, I think I said, "What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?" And the next move was just a bang, and she clocked me in the jaw.
Do you recognize the voices on that tape? Mm-hmm. And who are the people on that tape?
It's Johnny and I.
Okay. And is Johnny describing an act where you made a door go into his head?
Objection, harassing, argumentative, vague.
I was trying to escape from a room where Johnny was attacking me. And in order to escape, I was trying to get onto the other side of the door, attempting to close the door, and he was attempting to get in despite my attempts to try and escape an assault.
Isn't it true that on this tape that was just played, you tell Johnny Depp you're sorry?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you what?
I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing.
Did you just tell Johnny Depp in that recording that I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing?
Yes, as he was trying to get into the door, into the room, I was trying to escape in. He pushed the door into me, and I was trying to hit him by getting him out of the door to stay in the room.
And the way she just at the end of it goes, like, what can't you understand type thing. It's just, ugh. But anyway, we'll move on. So on to the Tokyo incident. This is her account of what happened to her.
Okay, Steve. All right, January 25, 2015, Tokyo. Please tell, it's the premiere of Mordecai, correct? Did you accompany Mr. Depp to Tokyo for the premiere of Mordecai?
I did. When I was,
Please tell the jury about that trip.
well, I had just started to pick out the wedding dress right before that trip. And plans were moving for us to get married shortly after this trip. So we took this trip to promote his movie. I went with him. We got in an argument in the hotel room. And I said, I don't remember what I said to him, but I said something snotty to him that provoked him. It provoked him. And when I walked into the hallway, he grabbed me by the arm and slammed me up against the hallway wall. And I kind of struggled with him, tried to push him off of me. And I managed to get out of his grasp enough to take a few steps, and I kind of curved around and went into the closet. And by the time I made it into the closet, he had me by the hair, and I felt like he was just wailing on me, but in a really sloppy way, like hitting the back of my head, and kind of wrestled me down to the floor. I mean, it felt to me like I didn't even have a fair shot, because I wasn't facing him or looking at him. I was walking away from him. Or else, I would have at this point even I would have tried to defend myself more, but I didn't. I kind of felt like it didn't see it coming, and he just wrestled me down to the ground. And I remember he was screaming at me. I mean, like really screaming loud. And what I remember of that is trying to get up and him kind of wrestling me back down. And at one point, put his knee on my back. Kind of like kneeling on my back. And I just had this like struggle with him. And I look at him and he's still got his glasses on. I just remember looking at him and thinking that was so, he just looked like he hadn't been through anything. He still had his glasses on, sunglasses. And he was screaming at me that he hated me, that it was over, he didn't want to marry me. He was disgusted. He made this mistake. It was a big mistake. And everyone hated me. And I remember crying on the floor. Just, more than anything, I was heartbroken. I thought maybe he was serious. I thought maybe, God, he doesn't love me. Maybe he really feels this way. It broke my heart. Broke my heart. I wanted to marry him so bad.
And this is the backless dress. How does she expect us or the jury to reconcile her story with this? There is photographic evidence of the total lack of physical injuries. She's been knelt on. She's been slapped and hit and pulled around all over the place, but she has not a mark on her. Not even going to get into the he didn't like me, wouldn't let me wear revealing clothing bullshit. So let's just move on from that. Then that brings us to the Australia incident and her sudden recognition of the bottle while on the stand. That bottle is a Maker's Mark bottle, and they are the most awkward bottles to attempt to hold with one hand because a normal bottle is 750 mils and the majority is spread over the vast majority of the bottle. A Maker's Mark bottle is shorter. It is the same volume of liquid. The neck of the bottle is a lot longer, and all of the liquid is in the base of the bottle. So you've got a really quite a hefty base. The bottle that is in evidence, photo of the bottle in evidence, still has liquid in it. If she was bleeding, there was obviously some injury. Alcohol slushing into that would have caused some pain, not just heartbreak. Okay, so it really is one of the most awkward bottles to attempt to hold with one hand, and particularly considering the way she tells it, that this is after Johnny has smashed a phone to smithereens and done the damage to his finger. That would make holding this so much harder. It would also, you'd think, leave a whole lot of blood on the bottle, which is again suspiciously absent. While we're talking about the smashing of the phone and the injury to Johnny's hand, if it had happened the way she has claimed, why were there no other injuries to his hand? Just have a look at, I mean, his knuckles are not scuffed, none of his other fingers are. For someone who's been punching walls and doing all that he's doing for the past 3 days while she's been a hostage, there's some pretty clean hands apart from the makeup from set. Just saying. One other thing I have to say, I just have to. If I had just been violated the way she says she had been, there is no way I'd be taking sleeping pills and having a kip while my abuser is still on a rampage in the house. It just makes no sense. It doesn't make a bit of sense. Okay, now let's talk about the quote-unquote only time she ever hit Johnny, Whitney and the stair incident. Let's listen to her account from the UK deposition.
Yes or no, did you ever punch Johnny Depp with a closed fist in the history of your relationship with Johnny?
Answer it however you feel you wish to.
Thank you.
One time, Johnny was hitting me, and he was hitting me hard and repeatedly, and I was screaming. Security walks in, and they don't do anything about it. And he makes this motion when Jerry Judge yells "boss" or Sean, I can't remember who it was, and all we had was a little bit of separation, and my sister runs down the stairs. We're on a landing in between 2 flights of stairs.
Ms. Heard, I must interrupt you because I've asked you a yes or no question.
Withdraw your question then, because
Ms.
she's
Heard,
answering.
prior to today's date, have you ever hit Johnny Depp?
Answer it however you wish. You've already asked, and she's already answered, and you interrupted her.
Ms. Heard, have you ever hit Johnny Depp prior to today?
Objection, Vegas at times.
Everyone on this side of the room, please.
Objection 352. It's not relevant to the domestic violence proceeding.
Overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Answer it however you want to, including the way you were just.
I'm asking for a yes or no answer.
You don't have to answer it the way she wants you to answer it.
He was about to push my sister down the stairs.